All right, guys. Sorry about that. I'm just waiting on Glen real quick. I was like, yo. I was like, yo, this is not gonna work. All right.
You know what? And it might be me too. My phone started barely working, so I switched to a hotspot. Am I good right now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I switched to a hotspot. I'll just let that ride because it might have been me. But it felt like it wasn't though. I don't know. It was weird. Whatever.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I just want to, because I don't know how their system works with like HD shit. You know what I mean? Because we're like on this. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I just got to get this shit done and make
I'll go back to full def. Just is it cool right now? Am I choppy at all?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're perfect.
All right, sweet. We're back. Sounds good.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
Sorry about that.
Right back to the back cave.
We knew the intro. The intro wasn't there. We just knew we were destined for a
All right, so all right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Welcome back. We just switched channels here. I'll get the other one fixed, and then we'll be good to go next time we do this. But all right, what were we at? What were we talking about? We're talking about what are you talking about?
I don't know. I started talking about kettle chips and stuff, and then all of a
sudden, kettle chips. Beer.
Yeah,
beer. Just beer. Man, I lost the questions too.
Yeah, too bad, guys. Type the question if you had the question. If you had one and we didn't get it, put it in the chat.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So what we got here? Is it Goff, Eli comparison?
Yeah, I think we were talking about Goff and Aiden.
Yeah.
We were talking about Goff and Aiden. That was and Schaub, and I was talking. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Cool, guys. All right. So we're talking about Goff and Aiden O'Connell. Of course, Jared Goff is the ceiling. I believe. I think that this really is a ceiling. I don't think he's going to be better than Jared Goff. Right. I mean, I could be wrong about that. I mean, I could be wrong about Aiden O'Connell altogether. I mean, we don't know. I mean, a lot of people could be wrong, but it's just the arm limitation a little bit. And some of the things, if you didn't use your offense, but we'll see. I mean, I wonder if they're going to make it a full battle between him and Minshew, like they're going to do the whole preseason thing where like one guy starts one game, the other guy starts another game.
Yes.
I mean, preseason's so weird these days. I mean, do you even have starters play? Like, who's he starting with? Who's he like? What is the battle really? I feel like it's all in practice. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I know they're doing the workouts now, but I think mini camps can tell us a little bit. See who's just won right now, right? I want to see who's won going into camp. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I was thinking that exact same thing the other day. I was like, how I'm sure there's going to be some rumors in camp that we can pick around it, but yeah, who's plays preseason? Because to me, if you see Aiden playing the majority of snaps out there, and if he balls out, because he had a heck of a preseason last year, he played really well last year, and if he plays really well, but they want Minshew to start, and if Minshew just doesn't have a good game, doesn't start out hot, I look, AP knows who. Aiden O'Connell did not, I don't believe, got Antonio Pierce the job. That's not what I'm saying here. But that was the quarterback who was there when Antonio Pierce got his first head coaching job. So I can understand Antonio Pierce having just a slight amount of loyalty to that. But I do think they like what they have in Minshew. But the contract is still the contract is still a premium backup contract. So not saying contracts matter in terms of Antonio Pierce making decisions and personnel decisions, but it is structured that way. To I think have a camp battle.
Yeah, and they should. I think they should have a camp battle. I mean, if Minshew wins, he wins. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just I don't know how you can run the vertical offense they want to run, but this could be interesting, man. I don't know how it's gonna work. All right, so let's get some of these questions, and then we'll get to what we're going to talk to. I mean, I guess we could start talking about Aiden O'Connell's number, but there's some good questions. I'm actually going to save some of these so when we start talking about draft picks. All right, guys. Keep throwing the questions, guys. We are going to get to them. Just be patient. I know some people get mad. We don't answer questions. They ask the same question 800 times. I'm favoriting them. I'm saving them. So ask your question. You got a question, just go ahead and ask it. That's why I'm going through here trying to see what I can get. There's a lot of questions in here, but we are going to get to them. I promise here, guys. All right, so I don't know if I brought this up last time, but we did the Raider rundown. So let's talk about Aiden O'Connell number change. I mean, that was a conversation. I don't know. I know a lot of people were triggered last year when Josh McDaniels gave him 4. So thoughts?
I thought it was weird that like he didn't really want the number 4. That's the only thing I felt weird about, was that he always wanted 12. I guess that's what I was getting out of that. It's like, why didn't you just get the number 12? I don't know. It felt strange. I don't know. I didn't have car derangement syndrome. I was ready to get him out of here. It was done. What's done is done. We saw a year on the Saints. It looked like the Saints looked like the car Raiders last year. So perhaps there's some proof of some scientific testing happening, that where we saw Derek Carr in another environment and it looked the same. But to me, I don't think a number matters. But if Aiden O'Connell wanted number 12 and he puts that on and he's like, damn, I feel better, then I'm all for it. And he's going to have to go win a job this year. And he has a chance to win a job this year. He didn't have a chance to go win the job in camp last year. It was Jimmy's job. Jimmy had the contract that was a starting quarterback. It was a bottom end starting quarterback contract. But right now, like I said, he's going against a guy who has a premium backup contract. Not saying those are 100%, what Antonio Pierce is going to go by, but I think if he's got that confidence with the number 12, man, hey, look, there's guys that like Wade Boggs used to only eat like chicken, like the same chicken dish before a game. Like, guys have their quirks. Can't be bad if a guy's feeling comfortable.
Yeah. I just don't give it's a conversation, but I went on Twitter and it was like I came with a guy with like the cake and there's like a storm and I had to go out like, oh shit. It was weird. It was just weird, the conversation around that number change. Because Zamir White changed the number, nobody cared. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. I like it though. 35 is it's such a backup, like almost cut off the roster number for a running back. So for me personally, aesthetically, I like Zamir White. He's 3 now, right? His college number.
mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like it for him. And he looks massive now. So that single digit number is going to be like really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a big dude anyways, man. He's
for me. I like it for me. I don't have no idea what it's going to do for him, but I like it for me.
We care. 3 is clean.
35 just looked like a 2.9 yards per carry number, 3.5 yards per carry. You know what I mean? An eighth a carry. It's just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's about we couldn't get Bowers cooler than something 89. I mean, 89 is the ultimate tight end number, bro. That's just a tight end number right there.
He's gonna get 19. I don't think DJ Turner is gonna make the roster.
You think he's gonna take it back?
He's gonna take it back. Don't buy a Brock Bowers jersey right now. If you guys, I've thought about it, but I don't think he's sticking with 89.
You don't think so? All right.
No, just my prediction. Yeah, just my prediction.
O'Connell number change, man. It's just so funny that was like a big thing. Like, oh my god, he changed it back. And I was like,
but those same people don't think he's good. Those same people don't think he's good. The people that want him to change his number think that like the Raiders struck out in the draft class by not getting a quarterback, and they don't think he's that good. It's like, hey man, like my thing is like, dude, I'm pretty lukewarm, like to almost positive on Aiden O'Connell for what he is. And I'm kind of like, dude, it didn't matter. It didn't matter when I didn't look at number 4 on the field and go like, wow, he's wearing number 4 like the last guy. It's not the way I watched him last year.
Yeah, I think with Aiden O'Connell is just, I think it's more that he can't move. Okay, I mean that's what people don't like. They don't like that he can't move. All right, that's the main thing. Especially with how people talk about him. I mean, that's the first thing they talk about is that he can't move. They add in a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of lies about him, like how he takes sacks. He doesn't take a lot of sacks. No. He actually avoids a lot of sacks. There's a lot of good things he does. He's there's not just a lot of upside. That's all it is. And I see it. I mean, there's a lot of upside, but you can win with him, though. I mean, that's proven last year. I mean, it's not like you can't win games with him. It's just like if you get in a shootout with somebody late in the playoffs, is he going to get you over the hump? Because that was my biggest issue with him last year, is that he sucked in clutch situations, right? You could start with the Chargers game to the pick. I didn't like the play call. That's fine. He still threw a pick there, right?
He did.
Dolphins game, there's a pick. Trey Tucker, pick. You know what I mean? Stupid pass. He had Amir Abdullah wide open for a check down. Amir Abdullah would have got 15 yards, ran out of bounds. He would have got closer. Better chance for them to tie the game or whatever they wanted to do that day. He bad. Got rid of it. The Vikings game, they're down 3-0. He had a chance. I mean, it doesn't matter what you say, right? I mean, he had a chance. They had the ball late, 3-0. Go score. Shit, go tie the game. You know what I mean? Like, go get a field goal, Aiden. And he threw a pick like on his first pass. So I think that's where he has to get better at is late in games, the ball's in your hand. You got to go win that game. Like we can talk about the quarterback, quarterback game winning drives, whatever. But that's really honestly the only time that everybody goes on the field and knowing that if the quarterback doesn't get it done, we don't win. Is kind of game winning drives, comeback situations. So that's why it's important. Clutch quarterbacks win Super Bowls. They win playoffs. I mean, that's the thing. If you can't have those moments where you have the football and you can't drive down the field and take the Raiders down and score a touchdown, then that's a problem because we can't be front runners. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, every game they kind of won, they were front runners, right? It wasn't like a game where Aiden brought them back. So, that's the difference between him and Minshew, though. You know what I mean? So Minshew has a little bit of a clutch gene in him where he gets a little better when it's time to make some plays. But I mean, that's where Aiden has to get better at, in my opinion.
And my thing is like there's not a huge investment in him, and I think I like that they didn't tether themselves to mid. They've tethered themselves to like we'll see, and that's what I it's fine. It's easier to make that big move. It's easier to shed that and go. But I will say with the Vikings game, dude, Hunter Renfrow had a huge fumble in that game. And I know if we're talking, I understand that game was like it was a bad offensive game, one of the worst offensive games I've ever seen. But like Hunter Renfrow fumbled in the red zone in that game, and Hunter Renfrow's just been like addicted to fumbling right now, and nobody's signed him yet. I know he's a post June 1st cut, but like nobody. It's kind of weird. Like that dude fell off a cliff. They couldn't run the ball in those games either. Against Miami and Minnesota, they could not run the ball in those games. He's an ecosystem quarterback, and we know that. It's not a Derek Carr situation where it's like, well, if you add this, you do this, and this happens, then maybe in a vacuum we could win a game with Derek Carr. It's like, no, we know that Aiden O'Connell's going to need Brock Purdy level supporting cast to win. Yeah. We know this. That's not going to stop them from making an upgrade. I don't think that's going to be the case. So it's just kind of, I think this year it's fine. I'm not doom and gloom about this year with Minshew and O'Connell. I think that's an okay place to be. They were able to get a blue chip player in Bowers by not panicking, which is that's okay.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get to some of these questions real quick because there's a lot of them. So I mean, we might as well just
rock, dude. Let's rock.
All right,
I'm down.
Let's do it. So is Parham on notice? No, I'm gonna say no. Parham's not on notice. I wouldn't think that. I think that the starting five is pretty set right now.
Yep.
It's gonna be Miller, Parham, James, Jackson Powers, Johnson, and Thayer Munford for now. If Glaze beats him out, great for Glaze.
Good problem to have. Yeah, good problem to have. Good problem to have. And I think there's decent depth with Whitehair and Meredith. You have a veteran in Whitehair. Not a great season last year, but you're not asking him to start, which is that's why I really like the Jackson Powers Johnson's draft pick, because if Andre James goes down or just bad year Andre James or something, Jackson Powers Johnson is your center. You can put Whitehair and Parham as your guards. There's a lot of versatility on the line. I don't think it's a top line, but I think there's movable pieces on there, which I like.
Yeah, exactly. Can Andre James move to guard? I mean, he probably could, but I think he's center or bust, or you get replaced by Jackson Powers Johnson. I think that's how this works. Thoughts on how Patrick Graham could use Trey Taylor on defense? I get into Trey Taylor. I want to deep dive a little bit into Trey Taylor when we go over the picks itself, but I think he is somebody that he could use in a lot of different ways. But I don't want to kind of give it all out and say,
no, it's fine. With Patrick Graham is smart. Give him chess pieces. He plays chess. He's a smart guy, Ivy League guy. Give him chess pieces. Trey Taylor's a chess piece.
I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go Trey Tucker, just because
I like Laube.
You're Tucker.
I like Laube. I think we're gonna get to that, but everything I see out of him, I'm like, all right, let's try it. Yeah.
With Bowers playing the slot and Gallup sound this week, how does that affect Tucker? That's a good question. I think Tucker is going to have that. He's going to be the deep threat guy at all times. Is Michael Gallup going to make the football team? I think that you guys have to realize that. We have to kind of take that approach because, I mean, remember like John Brown. I think Matt made a good point on our other show. John Brown, all those guys, They don't make the football team. We don't know. We got to see what Michael Gallup does first before we can assume. But I know Trey Tucker is going to make this football team. I know that damn well.
He is,
So
but I think he can. I think Gallup's there to be like, all right, Trey, can you beat a proven veteran? Like, it's one of those things where Trey Tucker can make this team, but are you a starter on this team, or a starter in a 3 wide receiver set maybe, or something? And it's like, can you beat this proven veteran? The veteran, yeah, has some knee injuries. He's on the back end of his peak, I should say. And I think it was good to bring Gallup in as competition for Tucker. I'd love to see Tucker just blow him out of the water.
yeah, I agree with that. Bowers, with the schedule being released, without, do you have a prediction for regular season record? We'll get into that. See, a lot of these questions are ahead of the time because
All right, yeah, we'll talk about it.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Who would the day 3 picks would benefit the team the most? I like Trey Taylor a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do.
Day 3, I might be a Lauby guy, dude. I'm starting to get in. I don't. He's got like the job already. Who's the pass catching back on this team?
Yeah. I think Laube would get more snaps at the beginning of the year, but Bowers and Johnson are starting right away, man. I think other guys would be backups. But I think Laube and maybe even Trey Taylor can start getting some snaps at the end of the year. AOC can train up this offseason, run a little bit faster, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
That's a stretch.
I don't think so.
Out of these guys, I want it to be Ja'Cory Bennett. That's what I would say.
He should. He should. He had a tough rookie year. He wasn't supposed to be starting last year. I don't think. It wasn't a good idea to have your 4th round rookie starting. He's fast. He made mistakes, and I think that's. I don't know. I'm not down on him. I hope he can bounce back this year. If not, face on. I would guess. I still think they're going to sign a veteran corner. I think they're not done at corner. I don't think.
Yeah, for sure. What was the last question? There's just so many questions, bro. Like, we got so many questions today. Jesus, good Lord. I said that. They just started throwing them at me. So do you think Taylor plays in the slot linebacker role? All right, let's see if I can answer some of these questions just by going over some of these things. Because
let's go into the
Shire. Do you think Davis Mills season with Aiden? I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, man. No, I think he's already had a better season than Davis Mills had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, truly.
I think he already did, right?
That's what I mean. He had a season that Bryce Young had last year, and people think Bryce Young's better than Davis Mills right now. So,
yeah. Do you think Minshew has an uphill battle to start, considering how AP has backed AOC the whole offseason? I do. If you ask the Athletic, they tell you no. They're going off the money though. They're following the money. I don't know why they're following the money. They shouldn't do that. But
but the money is. I don't think the money matters as much because Minshew's not making Jimmy G money. So I think Aiden's money is only because he's on a rookie contract is low. I don't think they're going to favor anybody, and I hope they don't. I want to see the best. I want to see the best guy. The guy. I'll tell you right now, Max Crosby is the absolute leader of this team, and he does seem to love Gardner Minshew. And yeah, we'll talk about the Adams thing too in a little bit. But like, I didn't hear a lot of Aiden stuff on that podcast. That's all I'm saying.
No. So Mumford is a better run blocker than Luminor, so I'll just answer that question real quick.
Yeah, agreed.
I like this question though. What is the biggest weakness or counter to an offense that relies heavily on 12 personnel? And do the Raiders have a way to counter the counter? That's a good damn question. I like this.
Great question.
That's a great question. I would say that the biggest counter usually with 12 personnel is that you just don't have that many skill players on the field, right? So if you're in 12 personnel a lot, you're not one. You might they might force another linebacker on the field, and those type of things, and force defenses to kind of attack you from a different type of perspective, but I do believe if you run 12 personnel too much, you're keeping a lot of your skill players off the field. Now, Brock Bowers is different, though. Okay. So that's where it gets into Brock Bowers because he's a different animal. So everything I just said just makes no damn sense because usually we have a tight end, it's like Mike Andrews and like I don't know, whatever guy. The Raiders have Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers, right? So it just becomes a little bit of a different process for me. Because to be honest, I don't know how you like match up when they're in 12 personnel with Brock Bowers. It's gonna be hard for teams to do it
Nah,
because the counter, I would say the counter, because they're gonna bring more linebackers in, right, to kind of go against 12 personnel, especially if the Raiders can run the ball. If the Raiders can run the ball this year, it's over for a lot of that
agreed,
offense.
100%.
It's going to be trouble, right? Because you're going to have to bring another linebacker on the field. You can't do that with Brock. You just can't do that with Brock Bowers. You can't, right? So you have to choose: do I want to stop the run or I want to stop Brock Bowers? If Luke Getsy does his job. So the counter to that is when they come to stop it with more linebackers and stuff like that. You spread them out, and then that's the thing about him, man.
If you go heavy against the Raiders, Brock Bowers is going to run past all of them. So that's what I like. Yeah.
Who do you think wins the QB battle? I mean, I think it's Aiden O'Connell, but
Aiden.
like I said,
I think it's Aiden, but Minshew is more than welcome to prove me wrong. Mm-hmm.
yeah, right, exactly. Why does Aiden never step up in the pocket, or am I tripping? He steps up in the pocket, I would say, but I would think that how do I want to say this? I think it is inconsistent, though. It is a little inconsistent what he could do. I think so, at times he tries to be a playmaker too much. I think he tries to make a play. He doesn't let the play die, and I think he got a little bit better as the year went along. But we're good. We're good on some of that. So with the Dolphins Vikings game, do you just think it was? I mean, a little bit of that, but when you have the ball in your hand, you got to go, bro. You got to win the game. You know what I mean? That's your job right there. It's your job as a quarterback. Maybe. That kind of reminds me of Kirk a little bit. I just want to give it to this really quick. Didn't we have a guy? I mean, yeah, we did. Derek Carr. You did. You're right about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, run him off. They gave him 3 contracts.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know about run him off. Run him off is a bit weird. How many starting quarterbacks do you give almost a decade to? Without winning anything.
yeah,
Come on. Yeah, I don't know
yeah, that's
about
true.
run him off. I don't know about run him off in 2024 NFL terms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should have moved on from him in a better way. I mean, Josh Jacobs definitely an asshole, but
Yeah. I'm
he
glad it
should have
all
did
collapsed.
he should have did like a wave or something. Maybe like a walk around. That would have been the right thing to do.
I
But
don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just get. I'm
it,
glad
it,
it all
it doesn't
collapsed.
matter.
It collapsed. It needed to collapse, and it collapsed. Yeah.
All right, last question, and then we'll get into some of these draft picks. I know, or talk about Devontae Adams real quick, and then we'll get into that. So, what's your
Yeah.
confidence level in Getsy being able to use Bowers? I mean, it's not. To be honest, it's not the highest. I'm not gonna be lying to you guys. We're gonna see. I want him to prove me damn wrong. That's what I want. I want him to prove me wrong. It's just, I would have liked him to see him get more creative with like DJ Moore and some of those guys. So we'll see with that, but it's gonna be super interesting with that, man. It's gonna be interesting type of stuff here. All right, so Devontae Adams interview. I know, Glenn, that's something you want to talk about. Something that happened with that. I didn't really get a chance to watch it, so
I
I'm
watched the
not gonna
whole
lie to
thing,
you.
or I listened to it. I listened to the audio feed. I love Max's show, by the way. For sometimes player podcasts can be a little like weird, not that good. But Max is great. Shout out Brogan Roback too. He's good too. But the Rush, Devontae Adams was on the Rush podcast, and Devontae was interesting. He made some. The thing that got viral was that it was taken out of context, which is funny because Devontae spent the whole entire podcast talking about how the media takes everything out of context. He blamed the fans for taking things out of context, which I thought was interesting. But it's like, no, sir, it's the media that takes things out of context most of the time and packages it to the fans, and the fans react to headlines and 20-second clips is what they do. But anyways, Devontae Adams is the most wide receiver of all time. It's not Randy Moss level because that's almost like a cartoon, like of the way, and T.O., like those guys. But he is just like during the whole time he was like, I just need my all pro season. If I get my all pro season, which means my targets, it gets my targets, we're gonna be good, which I don't think is false. But he's very much like a throw me the damn ball guy, but he's a well-spoken guy. Shout out, he's a Palo Alto guy, Bay Area legend. And he's just like, he's very much like, we need to throw the ball. I did get the vibe a little bit that I was waiting the whole time for him to go like, man, Aiden's my guy, and it never happened, which I thought it was interesting because there were plenty of opportunities in that show. Look, I podcast a lot, I do a lot of things. there were many opportunities for him to hop in there and say, Aiden's my guy. Like, I love Aiden. What we did last year was great. And it just didn't happen. And he also didn't praise Gardner Minshew. So I tend to think that Davante Adams is kind of like an individual guy. Not to say that he's selfish, not to say that he's a cancer or anything like that. I don't think that's true, but I think it's like this offense is going to be interesting when they bring in Brock Bowers. This was before the draft, by the way. The podcast was recorded before the draft. So I wonder what he thought of the Bowers pick. Because it does help the Raiders, but does it help him have an all-pro season? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I think with Davante Adams, I can just tell on the field that he's a little bit of a diva. It's just some of his reactions and stuff, and just the way he reacts to things. But he's a wide receiver. I mean, wide receivers are going to be like that. They get paid by reception, so you have to understand when you're a wide receiver, you have to get the football to make money. You know what I mean? And if you aren't getting the football, you're not going to make money. And if you don't get the football, then they're like, you fell off. So, I mean, that's the thing with wide receivers, and why a lot of those guys are divas like that is because they literally get paid. That's how there's no other way for them to get paid if they don't get the football. So they run these routes and they get 3 targets a game, then they're not going to get paid. They're just going to, Davante Adams is falling off. He's old, yada, 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 right? And all those things come up. But if you get the targets, then you are that kind of guy. So, that's kind of the same thing, even with, and when you have those type of receivers, you have to throw them the ball. So, Brock Bowers is going to have to get in where he fits in. Just like, Stephon Diggs, he went to Houston. Some people were thinking like, oh, Nico Collins is going to be that man. And there's going to be a lot of fantasy football people telling you that Nico Collins is still going to be that guy. It's not good. It's not true, guys. It is Stephon Diggs time in Houston. It's Davante Adams time all the time while he's here. He's supposed to get the most targets. He's going to demand the most targets. He's going to want the ball in his hands. So that's the thing. I think, you have to look at it that way. But it makes sense to me why he's like that. But we'll see how that goes. I still think he's happy. I think he likes AP the most, which matters, right?
Yeah,
he likes AP.
He didn't say a lot about AP either. It was weird. Look, they were talking about more so like being a receiver and stuff. The conversation, and I'm not trying to put too much on this. I look, it was a chat between the like leaders on the Raiders. It's totally fine. And I like Adams, and I want him to be great on this team. I want him to want to be here, and he was talking about Derek Carr. There was such a trading, like the trade to the Raiders was such a Derek Carr thing. He was weighing out Derek Carr versus Jordan Love, and he was saying he didn't see it from Jordan Love while he was with the Packers. He didn't see it, therefore, and he wasn't sure about Aaron's future with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. And then he was like, well, I know Derek Carr is a good quarterback. So he wanted to be on the Raiders. That was his thing. So he is very much, look, that's the guy who gets you your money, right? The guy who throws you the ball the most. It's a simple equation. But he was kind of I just look, it's just a thought exercise. Like it might mean nothing, but it's kind of like, look, there's a lot of weapons on the Raiders. Are we going to have to do a traditional number one feed Davante before anybody else? And I'm fine with whatever wins games, but I'm just saying, like, I wonder if that's going to be the case. And if you can't decide, like, after this year or whatever, like, maybe we try to move on, we'll see what we can get from a team like the Jets. I don't know.
Yeah, dog. I mean, as long as Adams on the team, you're gonna have to feed him the ball, or he's gonna be pissed. I mean, it is what it is.
Even if they're winning, though, what if they are 8-4?
They better be like no, they better be like 9-1.
Oh wow, yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm a little bit worried about.
There's 4 losses there, where like you have to add it. Did he get the ball? Those 4 losses.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I mean, it's just when you have 8 alpha wide receivers, that's the thing. Everybody wants an alpha wide receiver until he comes to your team. Because you get an alpha wide receiver, he's gonna bitch about not getting the football.
I
If
don't
he
love
has
the
3
Texans
targets,
offseason. I don't love the Texans offseason. They traded a lot of picks that they could have got hungry players in that with Stroud, and they went and got a guy who straight up gives you a 3-year window to make him a Hall of Famer, or else, and I'm not saying I love Devontae Adams. Like, truly, I do. I just wonder about what I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and somebody say he's fine with having 0, but that was just back to what I was saying. Like,
I don't know
but
about
we
that.
cut it. If he goes down, he's 30, man. If he goes down like to 65 receptions this year, we're trading him. Don't even. They're not paying him that money. So that's his mindset. I have to have 100 catches, or I'm not going to keep making the money I make. Because if if Brock Bowers becomes number or something like that happened, the less money that he makes, he becomes AJ Green. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You're gonna have to feed him. You are. That's what's up. It's guessing somebody puts him in the slot. Hell yeah, that's what I agree.
No, so that's all I had. That's all I had. It wasn't much. I was like, it was a very great show. I loved everything they said, but I did have a few questions. Like, it's off season.
Yeah, I mean, it is the off season, bro. We got mini camp. That's about it, and then we got kind of
Yeah, there'll be a
empty
dead period.
July.
Fans want it. Fans want us to go through some misery with the Raiders. I've seen that. Like, I've seen some comments that people are like, talk about some like really bad, like what you did during the bad Raiders years. I'm down if you are. We can do that for some.
I mean, which year? Which decade we talking about? We talking about like after Gannon, like the short time after Gannon?
Yeah, we'll do a history. We have like June to like July to do to do that, dude.
Oh man,
A history of the bad Raiders. Yeah, we'll do it. I'm down.
I mean, because one cool thing I wanted to do is watch the Tuck Rule, but I don't know if we get like flagged for that. We might get flagged or something. I don't know how we.
Yeah, we might. We might. You could paywall it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, we'll sit here, like, watch the Tuck Rule, and then watch how John Gruden blew that game more than Tom Brady did.
I've already done it for a podcast once. I'm down to do it again.
I would. It trips me out how he fucked that game up. I'm like, bro, there's 50 seconds left. Why are they kneeling with the best offensive football? Anyways, so I want to get into that because I have a little.
Anyways, that's a little huddle talk. That's what we talk about in the huddle. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to some of this. Let's answer a couple more questions here. I just got so many questions. I love this guy. We had flooded with questions.
Yeah, this is great. This is what live streams are for.
Exactly. I don't know. What was stepping in the pocket? Dolphins, Kurt, schedule. Any undrafted free agents that you feel like they make the squad? To be honest, I didn't know many of those guys. I just know Carter Bradley. I think he might make the squad.
He might.
But I didn't know any of those other guys, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, the thing is, you get the third quarterback spot. So you got to fill that spot, right? Like, so I could totally see that. You get that third kind of one that doesn't go against the roster number. So you get that third emergency quarterback, and oh man, the screen just got bigger.
There we go. I just went out of there.
Oh yeah. I was like, hey, I guess I'll run it. Yeah, but you get that third spot against that doesn't go against the 53. So you do get that. It might be him, but there might be a camp cut that they also bring in too. So that defensive tackle, was he from Iowa? I'm interested in him. That they brought in. I don't know his name, but he was productive at Iowa. So
okay.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll add a veteran tackle or a speed wide receiver? I think they probably add a vet corner than anything else. I think at tackle, I think they're fine, right at this point. I mean, because you could say that Dave Mumford's in his third year, so I wouldn't say he's a rookie anymore, right? I mean, they expect him to be the starter, so it's one of those type of things. But it is what it is. Is that a reach?
Yes.
Broncos. What do you think about that, Glenn?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll ask yourself this as Raider fans. So if you were one of those Raider fans that wanted Penix or Nix, would either of those quarterbacks scare you on the Broncos? The answer is no for me. So Nix, I get why they did
Penix would a little bit.
I don't think so. I don't. They look.
It
would make them better. It would make them better. That's correct. But I don't think it would scare me.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate and play devil's advocate. with the Broncos, even though I hate the Donkeys. Okay. I mean, Bo Nix is kind of a fit for Sean Payton. I mean, he maybe can make it work, throw a lot of short passes. It's just he doesn't scare me that way, because he's not like Drew Brees or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and then just the fact is, like, Bo Nix is a second round pick. He's not or late first where you want the 5th year option. To me, and they took him at 12. And for me, Sean Payton's they're on a different timeline. Sean Payton was traded for and valuable picks. That's why they didn't have a second round pick. It's funny. It's ironic how it rushed the Broncos to reach on a quarterback, in my opinion, was that they traded their second and first last year for Sean Payton. So Sean Payton's not a young man anymore. And we've seen old white guy coaches on the Raiders with visors. We've seen that the last couple coaches, and they get impatient. And I think that's what they're doing, is they're panicking. So I'm fine with the Broncos panicking.
yeah. Is Bowers going to be essentially our slot? I think so. I mean, if he's smart.
Yes, I agreed. I think he starts in the slot.
See, as rotational or tackle, I think he's going to be he's going to rotate with Kuntz on like first and second down, but third down he'll probably play inside. I'll say that.
3rd and 5 and up, like if it's 3rd and 5 or longer, Tyree Wilson inside, and I'm excited for that actually.
Would 3 safety set work against 12 personnel? That's a good question. It depends on who your safety is. I mean, it's like prime Jamal Adams, then yes, that would work because he can guard tight ends and stuff like that. But it depends on who your safeties are, because even then, if your safety's smaller or you try to bring some more box safeties in, you might get ran over. So, especially if the team has some big ass guards, I'll say that. How does Getsy use receivers? Getsy's a vertical guy. Like I hear people talk about the short game a lot. He's one of the most vertical concept guys I've seen in a long time. I know somebody asked about a breakdown. I have a breakdown. You go down the channel. I got a Luke Getsy breakdown. It has basically a breakdown of everything. I do short game, run game, everything, right? And he is a vertical guy. Like that's why, I kind of wanted to have a big arm quarterback, but it's also why, they bring in a Michael Gallup, because Michael Gallup's a vertical guy. I mean, the best thing Michael Gallup does is run a go route. Best thing he does. You got Trey Tucker. You got some of these guys. I mean, Jacoby Myers can run some go routes. You got Brock Bowers, who's fast as hell, who could do that too. So I think that's going to be a big thing, is these guys getting vertical. So your thoughts, Glenn, before I get to the next question?
Oh, yeah. I think with Getsy, it's going to be about, can you run the ball? Can you run the football? If you can run the football, and I have questions about that this year. Now, the Jackson Powers Johnson draft pick, I think really, really was good in that regard, because, but I Zamir White and Alexander Madison, I kind of wanted them to add another. As much as I like the Dylan Laube pick, I was kind of like, where's the other guy that can tote the rock, in this scheme? I don't know if it's Laube. Telesco probably thinks he's Austin Eckler, and we'll see. But I'm kind of like, if they can run the football, that 12 personnel is going to be killer. I don't think the league is actually ready for that, to be honest.
No, it's going to be nuts. Yes, they do. I'm going to say that. We'll get into the draft picks. Do you think Aiden can ever prove his? I think we already answered that one quick question.
I don't think he can.
Does JPJ look like Barrett Robbins, or is it just me, Barrett Robbins? Hopefully, isn't it the one that got lost in Tijuana? Hopefully, he doesn't get lost in Tijuana when the Raiders go to Super Bowl.
We'll just tell him, like, hey man, like, no flight. You like, we'll just do this thing. Like, we'll send it down to the border and just be like, hey, if you see this man, just keep him in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. How do you feel about Zeus behind? I think Zeus will do fine. I think Zeus would be a pretty good running back. I think it's going to be on the offensive line there. Thank you, El Captain Rafucho. I appreciate the donation there.
Shout out.
Did we get a starting corner in the draft?
No.
I
don't think so. I don't think not right now.
Maybe
not in 2024. Yeah. We did not get a 2024 starting corner, and I hope we didn't, because I don't want him starting.
Well, but good yardage distribution between Adams, Mayer, and Bowers. So I think you want at least 1,250 to 1,300, and probably like 900, and then like for mayor, probably like 600. You probably want to mix it up like that because you have Jacoby Myers. I just gave Aiden O'Connell a 4,000 yard season because I forgot about Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. So, so.
I love their skill positions, and I actually think Brock Bowers is going to get a lot of jet sweeps, dude. Like I actually think he's going to have I think Bowers gets around 700 all purpose, and I think he gets about 6 or 7 touchdowns this year, but they're like some crazy highlight plays and other guys go off. Yeah.
All right. So the question I had, would you rather have Talisa Fuaga and JPJ instead of Bowers and JPJ?
Great question. It's a great question. No, because if they drafted Fuaga in the first round, I'd want them to get a little more fun in the second round. Rather than that, I would either situation I'd feel pretty good about. I think Bowers is more special than some of the Raider fans who are need based in their draft wishes. I think people just don't realize, and we're going to get into Bowers, how special he is. So, no, I think it's fine how they did it.
Exactly. Here's one for you.
I am too, dude. I am. No, I am. I don't love what they have up front in Denver, but that's my guy, dude. I love Estime. I love him. To be honest, instead of Richardson in the 4th, I'm like, God, if you just win Estime, I think this is like a grand slam draft. But I do like Richardson, so we'll get to him. But like, I do like him, but it's like, ooh, just reach on it, not reach, but just kind of take him in the 4th. Who cares? It's kind of my thing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into this draft value here. I do want to talk about this comment before we get. I just had it. This is a good point. It was Justin Fields a lot, but even at Mississippi State, I think he was criticized for not having a short game at Mississippi State because like Nick Fitzgerald's completion percentage was like 50% or some shit like that. And that was like the main criticism is that he didn't have a short game. So it's a little bit of that too. All right, so let's get into these draft picks, man. Right? That's what we're here to talk about. Get some of these questions in here. Make sure I save these for later. Draft picks. So, nope, that's Glaze. Here we go. Raiders draft picks. So Brock Bowers, 13. Jackson Powers Johnson, Delmar Glaze, DeCamerion Richardson, Tommy Eckenberg, Dylan Lobby, if I'm saying that right, I hope I am, Trey Taylor, and MJ Devonshire.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Overall, Glenn, what did you think of the class overall? Let's just kind of start there before we get into everything else.
Pretty good. Like I mean, really good. I would say, again, with the caveat of we don't know, things can happen. Guys are injury prone and stuff. Things can happen. But I am very much a best player available guy. I think when Sean McVay and Les Snead would do the fuck them picks thing, I'm kind of like fuck them needs in a sense where it's like draft the best player. Draft the guy that you think fans are going to buy jerseys of, that are going to be, Hall of Famers. And I think they drafted at least a Hall of Fame level upside in Brock Bowers. I don't know if we're going to get there, but it's a Hall of Fame level upside. And then after that, they got nasty with Jackson Powers Johnson. And it's like, well, you have AP as your head coach, get nasty in the trenches. And that's what they did. And he's really good. And he's not just nasty. He's a technician. 3rd round, DJ Glaze. I have my issues with that pick, but Matt Holder's been posting some pretty good clips. And look, if he ends up being a starting tackle or even a swing tackle for the Raiders, it's a fine pick. Then you go to Cameron Richardson. I like him because he can tackle. And I think there's so much of the NFL right now is having a competent coverage scheme, which I believe that Patrick Graham does have. And then can you tackle in the short game? Xavier Worthy got drafted in the division. There's going to be speed guys that you got to go get. DeCamerion Richardson can tackle in space very well. So that's fine with me. And then after that, you get Dylan Lauby, who as of right now, I know there's Amir Abdullah, but this guy can make plays in the pass game. So and in the return game, which I think is going to become a very important thing in the NFL this year. Then you go the Trey Taylor, Devonshire, fine. Special teams guys early. People are excited about Trey Taylor. I would love to watch a Tape Don't Lie film breakdown. I won a bet again with Air Force this year, and Trey Taylor made a big play in it. So fine with me in the 7th round.
Yeah, that's all that matters, bro. It's a bet at the end of the day. All right,
I will get a Bowers jersey. I see the comment. I'm gonna complete the tight end. Bowers needs to shave his head for me. That's my thing. Shave your head, dude. Shave it. Go.
Yeah, let it go.
Johnny Sins, dude. Just let's go, dude. Yeah, come on.
All right. So, my thoughts on draft class. I think it was pretty good overall. Maybe maybe in the middle. I feel like it started really great. The middle was a little iffy, and then it ended really well. That's how I kind of saw this draft go, because I think the 5th, the 6th, and the 2 7th round picks are honestly, I feel like when I watched them on film, they're a little better than the 3rd and 4th round picks. All right. Now, that's gonna sound a little crazy, but it's on film, it just looks that way. Because Delmar Glaze, or DJ Glaze, I think we call him DJ now. With him, what kind I guess I get into these guys individually, but just overall the class, I think that Tom Telesco had a reputation of not doing really well in the back end, and I think they did this year. The flip side to that, okay, is that they had the Patriots scouting department this year. Okay, scouting departments don't get fired until after the draft. All right, so I think they had a pretty damn good end of the draft, in my opinion. And even with Dave Ziegler, I mean, they got there Mumford late. They got some of these other guys late in the draft. We'll see going forward with Telesco if his scouting department can do the same damn thing. Because I think they did a good job at the end of the day, getting some late round picks that have potential to be maybe starters, right? But next year it might be a little different, because now we got Telesco's guys. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah. No, totally. And like I saw a comment. I think it felt like it switched to a needs draft in the middle. That was kind of the thing, the criticism. And look, I don't know. Telesco's the Kirkland quarter zip king, dude. Skechers Kirkland quarter zip king. He might have seen something that I didn't. But yeah, I kind of just wish he went kept swinging for the fences, and I felt like it got a little it was weird. They reached, but also it felt conservative. Like, I need a tackle, I need a corner, and that's why I was like, all right, go sign Xavier Howard if you need a corner. Go sign. There's money available. It's the go sign. The tackles aren't really great right now, but to me, I'm excited. Probably since 2014 is the last time I got actually excited about a draft where I was like, wow, these are players that I see great things with, and I don't have to rationalize. I don't have to rationalize this draft. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. I guess Drake just dropped his response to Kendrick.
Is that right?
Yeah, that just happened. Yeah.
Okay, I'll listen to that when we're done.
Listen to that when we're done. He probably, I don't know. Respond to Pusha T, bro. I was like, what? I'm still mad. Pusha T didn't say anything that crazy, bro. I don't care what he says. All right. Brock Bowers, first pick. Let's do a good value here. This is called this is bargain shopping. This is like you went to the thrift shop and you found like a antique, antique piece of the thrift shop, man. The Goodwill.
Oh, dude. Yeah, exactly. You find some cards. Somebody like, man, some guy died in Cartier. There's some Cartier at the thrift shop. Like, come on, dude.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. This is Cartier at the thrift shop. Him falling at 13 to them, and then having the balls to take him. I think that took a lot of balls.
Exactly what you just said right there. What this did, I love the player Brock Bowers. I think he's going to be a really good Raider for a long time. What it showed me was the freedom they have in the draft. The freedom. Next, even for quarterback, right? Next year, they can just take a quarterback. They can grab whatever. It felt like we were pigeonholed and also shocked at the same time. They were pigeonholed into a need and then shocked by the player they took in the last couple administrations with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
With Telesco, he's just like, you want a good player? I'll go get you one. And like Matt brought it up. He was like, now I can just watch the best players in the draft and actually be like, they can be the Raiders. And it just showed me a philosophy more than it showed me this player is on the Raiders right now. It showed me a philosophy and that the possibilities are endless. And I love the player too. I mean, this guy is a yak king. I think yak was a huge need on the Raiders that nobody talks about. Not a position, but a quality in a player. And yak is what Brock Bowers does. He is big. Not now, again, everyone saw the picture of him standing next to Gronk. He's not Gronk size, but not a lot of people are. But if you line him up in the slot, that is a giant. That's somebody you create in Madden as a slot receiver.
He's a monster, bro. It's just it's hard to explain the excitement when I was watching his film. It's hard to explain. I'm just like, oh my god, there's just so much you could do. Like my mind just started just going and like it's just thinking of all the things I could do with him. Like I could line him up in shotgun with Zamir White and him next to on the other side, and then he could just run like a vertical out of the backfield, and then he has a one-on-one with the linebacker. The guy's done. Then you could do a jet sweep with him. You can give him a reverse. He could take a wildcat and do a QB sweep. He can run up the seam. He could run any route on the field. Like it's insane. Because even when you think about it, like when Devontae Adams leaves, right? Like Bowers is going to be the man.
Exactly.
That's the dude right there.
You are future proofing your event. When I heard that podcast, I was like, okay, Adams, if he doesn't like what's going on here, he can leave. But I'm like, I have Brock Bowers, and then I can add some receivers around that. Like, it's just there is a very, and I see the question: how much weight do you think he's going to put on? I don't know that I need him to put on weight. I play as is, dude. I play as is, and he's my move tight end, and Mayer's in line.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with that. To be honest, I mean, he was 230 at the combine, I believe, or when he measured at his pro day. But I think he probably plays around 240. I believe.
Yeah,
yeah, and to be honest, he's not a blocker. So as long as he shouldn't be blocking that much. I mean, that's what reminds me of Travis Kelce, because Travis Kelce can run every route in the book. He can beat corners, but you ask Travis Kelce to block, he's throwing his helmet. So,
and you have exactly, and then you have the. To me, it's like you can put weight on him, I guess, but to me, I view him as an offensive weapon. I line him up as H back at times. I could see him being a Kyle Juszczyk and a Travis Kelce, right? And I know that sounds crazy. It's like both those guys make big plays for the teams that they're on, but I put them in those roles depending on the matchup that I have or where I'm at on the field. In the red zone, if he's an H back, dude, I tweeted this the other day, and fans seem to be into it. If I'm inside the 5-yard line, I'm just going Brock Bowers direct snap. Straight up.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. If it's Brock Bowers direct snaps, anything that you could do, man. There's so much things you could do with Brock Bowers. It's crazy. That's
Deuce Gruden's our guy. Deuce Gruden's gonna get him a little more rocked up, and that's fine. I don't care what the weight is. He's gonna. I'm telling you, Deuce Gruden is a sleeper on this staff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean he's still on the staff, man. He keeps making it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's making it. All right, so our next guy, of course, is this draft pick is crazy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Jackson Powers Johnson. This is the crazy one. That 99.7 pass block efficiency is just wild to me. It's wild. It's wild stuff. So this is the best value pick. I think Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers was a good value pick. This is the best one though.
44th, 44th overall. You got this guy.
This dude's a fucking stud, and I never seen an offensive lineman go and dominate the Senior Bowl. Like those drills are not made for offensive linemen. And that dude kicked everybody's ass. Everybody. Didn't matter who. I think at guard, he was better than at center. So like it's just, to me, it's just not much to talk about. When they took this guy, like I didn't even feel like I had to do a full on breakdown. I mean, I know me and Matt are probably doing tomorrow, but like it's just he's just a fucking stud. I don't know how the way to explain this, bro. This is a home run. It's the only way this could fail is if he gets hurt, which
and that is a thing, right? He does.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem like he gets nicked up a little bit, and you know what? It's still a risk I take. And you took him 44th overall. If he gets nicked up a little bit, it's fine. I don't remember exactly the injuries, but I know that he's had some. But that's part of being a physical interior offensive lineman. It's just part of the game. One thing Mike Martz said about him is the minute he can from center, he can snap the ball, and with the hand that he snaps with, the right hand, he can find work with it right away. There's just certain things that you don't have to teach him. And then, like I said, you get this guy in an NFL weight room, you get him on an NFL meal plan and stuff like that, and it becomes again, he's another guy. I think they got 2 blue chip players in this draft right away, and he gives you versatility. Again, if Andre James doesn't have a great season, or if you just decide you want to get off that contract, you have a cheap contract in Jackson Powers Johnson. He's going to find work everywhere. And like I said, the pairing of Brock Bowers, Luke Getsy runs a lot of screens. You can screen to Brock Bowers, and Jackson Powers Johnson is going to go create something for you out in front of Brock Bowers. I see the vision in drafting those 2 guys.
100%. Yeah, it's crazy stuff with those 2 draft picks, man. I think that was kind of like really
identity-wise. Yeah, identity-wise, it really was like, wow, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody said that he was injured and he still dominated. That's crazy.
He looks like he'll play through it too. He looks like he looks like he will play through it, and that's what I like.
I remember before the Senior Bowl, I turned to his tape, and the first play he like pancaked somebody. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to watch this. This is crazy. This dude's nuts.
Yeah, monster. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a monster. So Andre James, with how Andre James is looking, I think he's going to be the center eventually. I think Jackson Powers Johnson is going to be the center eventually. Maybe not this year. We'll see how James does. James just better not get hurt.
That's all right. I say. That's the thing. But but if he does,
he better stay healthy.
If he does, it's not a deal breaker. That's what I like.
It's gonna be him and Cody Whitehair. It's gonna be Jackson Powers Johnson at center and Cody Whitehair at guard, and then James gonna come back, and it's gonna be like 3 games, and they'll be like, That's what would happen. So Andre James can't slip up. I mean, because you got to think about this, okay? They called the center. You ever heard of that? Has somebody ever called a center? Be like, hey man, you're not losing your job
this year. For 2024, Andre, you're good. For 2024, unless you get hurt, you're good. For 2024, unless you ball out in training camp, you're good. Yeah, no, exactly.
It's just so funny, man. Calling a center, it's not like it's a quarterback or something. I can see calling Kirk Cousins, right? He's your football team. He's a leader.
A center.
Yeah, because they know how Jackson Powers Johnson is, and I'm sure Andre James knows about Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh yeah.
And if he saw that across the board, he's like, this dude's gonna try to take my job.
And Andre's undrafted, so he's gonna be like 2nd round pick. What? You know what I mean? Like, and I like him as a person. I don't love the way he snaps the ball. I can live with a lot of stuff he does, but I don't love the way he snaps the ball. So
I think he's actually a pretty good pass protector.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have a lot of power.
Right.
And he doesn't have a lot
of
play
dominate?
Strength, so.
Can you dominate with him? And I don't know that you can.
No, he has pretty good technique as a pass protector. So he has good hands. So his hands are in the right spot. But like, let him go against like Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is like throwing him out of the club. That's the thing with him.
Raiders have a Mahomes problem, but they also have a Chris Jones problem.
Yeah, because Chris Jones is throwing Andre James out of the club. And that's the thing with Andre James. Chris Jones might throw Jackson Powers Johnson out of the club once. I don't think it's going to happen twice. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jack Sparrow Johnson's gonna throw the Fox Racing shirt on and the backwards hat and be like, "What's up, Chris Jones?" Like he's gonna won't Tom Petty won't back down's playing in his head. Like, come on, dude, let's rock. Yeah,
All right. Exactly. All right, so let's get to the third round here. Delmar Glaze or DJ Glaze. Sorry, guys. I guess he wants to go by DJ. 6'4", 315. Long arms, pretty long arm guy. Hands.
crazy.
Yeah, not very athletic though, as you see there. Vert 25, broad, a little bit smaller there, but definitely a pretty good pass block efficiency there. Only gave him 14 pressures this past year, but he's a pretty good player. Pretty good on film. When I watched this film, I thought he was a little better than I thought going into the Senior Bowl. When I watched a little bit more, but my thing was with him is that like I feel like he just drafted Thayer Munford again. When I was watching him, like he has the same issues that Munford has. Is he going to get better at those issues that Munford had coming out? Which is speed rushers, because Penn State kicked his ass. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Against Illinois, and like I forgot some other game, he looked pretty damn good. He's definitely slower feet, but he has pretty good hands and stuff like that. That he used pretty well. But other than that, man, he could have some struggles there with speed rushers because Penn State. I mean, those guys got drafted. Chop Robinson. The other night they go to Nigeria and find like Nigerians and bring them here to have them play pass rush. So some of those guys, they kicked his ass, right? And I think that was a big part of my evaluation of him is when you watch him against speed rushers, which the Penn State guys are just NFL rushers. I mean, that's just what they are. Most NFL rushers are the Penn State guys. They run 4.6s. They're about 240 pounds. They're athletically, that's where they're at. So with DJ Glaze, he's probably going to have that issue with them going forward, trying to kind of keep up with them a little bit. So yeah, Adiza Isaac, a lot of those guys. That's a little bit of my issue. So he's a little bit of a project, but I mean, third round is not too bad,
Yeah, and I don't mind a project. I don't mind a project there. The thing is like, are you gonna? I would like a project that has the feet, that has the quickness, and then but I need to work on the technique. And I feel like he has the technique, right? But it's the feet. It's like, can you ever get quicker? And that's the thing. And he's playing at 315, right? Let's say they want to get him at like 325 or something. Is he going to get faster at 325? I don't know. That's my thing. Look, not every pick's going to be a home run. I have my reservations about this pick. That's where I'm at right now. I believe it'll be a camp battle. I think with Michael Gallup and Trey Tucker battling it out in camp, you will see the same thing with Mumford and DJ Glaze. I expect Mumford to win this battle, and I'll be happy if that's the case. Glaze he's big and strong. And again, if you're going against a power rusher, I like DJ Glaze. I do. But there's going to be guys, I think, that are technicians that are going to find a way around him. And look, he's got the long arms. And I feel like if you have long arms as a tackle, there's a lot people can do with you. And it's just going to come down to Greg at the O-line coach. Or is it Greg or Greg? I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm getting his name right. The O-line coach. James Craig. Yeah. If he's able to get something out of him, then hell yeah, let's go. I do think it's still a reach. This is a top 100 pick. When you pick somebody inside the top 100, you expect them to start for your team at some point. That's just what you do. So the goal for him is to be a starting tackle. I'm just not sure. That's just my thing. I would love to be proven wrong. If you're a big, there was one guy that night we were reacting to the pick that was a big Glaze guy. And if he's right, shout out. Let's do it.
Yeah, that guy was mad at us, man.
He was hot. He was like, bro, you have not watched tape. And you were like, correct, I have not. You clocked me. Yeah.
Watch Glen. Okay, I mean, that's something I should do. I mean, I should watch him play the right side. But to me, I don't know there's going to be a difference between handling a speed rusher. Because I'm telling you, when you're in the Big Ten, all right? Because against Illinois, he was a stud. This dude couldn't do anything to him. He's just everywhere.
And that's a good defense. And that is a good defense.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, it is. But as soon as the Penn State boys came on the field, it was a little different for him. So I mean, and that's how the NFL is going to be. So he's got to get better
What do you think
with
about
his
him in the
feet.
run game? What do you think about him in the run game though, where
Yeah, he's a
it's
little
like,
weak though.
so you think he's weak there? That was my question. If he was a guy that was a mauler in the run game, I'd be a little more okay with it. I never saw just the small amount that I've watched of him. I didn't see a guy that was out hunting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do have a point. I mean, they had they didn't go tackle
Agreed.
early. That I mean, they could have got Rosengard, but Jackson Power Johnson's fine. I'm not gonna complain.
Rosengard, I even thought where the Ravens took Rosengard, I was kind of like, okay, he might be something, but that was higher than I thought personally. You had
Yeah,
him in the second round, but I was like, okay, wow, no, there was a run, that is correct. Who is the guy the Niners had? Puny, kind
yeah,
of where I
Puny.
wanted to go,
But
kind of
well,
where I
Puny
wanted to
went
go.
after Glaze. So you think I
That's what
was
I mean. That's what I mean, though. Like it's kind of where
Puny's
I
a
wanted
guard.
to go.
He's a
Okay,
guard.
all right, yeah, no, I trust you on that. Okay.
So when people were saying that they're moving Glaze to guard, and then I saw that they picked Puny, I was like, what that? Like, now that sucks. But Puny is a pure guard, and that's where he's taken. And then they want to play Glaze to tackle. So All right. So the next one, DeCamerion Richardson from Mississippi State here. Now, he's typical corner for Tom Telesco. Got 188. I mean, he's a little taller, 6'2", but he made the weight, 188. Arms are pretty long for how they're not long for how tall he is. I was thinking of actually the other dude, Devonshire, but very fast, pretty good vert. He just he gives up a lot of big plays.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing with Richardson. So this, if there's a big reach on this draft, is this guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I just feel like that his film isn't like worth taking this high. In my opinion, I don't think his film is like that where he tackles really well. Okay, I'm not gonna. He tackles. He's a great tackler, but I don't think that's the best thing your best thing I should point out as a corner, right? I think he has kind of some issues that just technique wise, he has to get better at. But he just has a lot of upside because he's tall, he has a lot of speed, and he has some athleticism. He just has to work on his technique. Like, he opens the gate pretty damn early. Opening the gate for people is like if you're playing press corner and basically you kind of just give the guy an opening to wherever the hell he wants to go. He does that a lot on film a little bit. So I think with him, he's going to be an interesting type of prospect to see how he goes going forward. But if Jacorian Bennett starts to lose to him, because I feel like Jacorian Bennett was a better player coming out than Richardson, and they kind of took Jacorian Bennett the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
If he beats out Bennett, I'll be a little bit worried about Bennett. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So, but if there was a reach, because I think DJ Glaze wasn't as much as a reach as more of it's like, okay, we need some kind of tackle position, and he's probably the best tackle left over on the board, right? So I think that was more about that one. But I feel like there's probably some better corners available at this point over Richardson. But I mean, he has his type, so it is what it is. I mean, this is the type of guys he's gonna be drafting as long as he's the GM. So
Yeah, it's strange with Richardson. I did, to be honest, when it happened, I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like, kind of a later pick. But I remember watching something from Chris Sims. I find Chris Sims fascinating because he's either 1,000% correct or 1,000% wrong about his evaluations. And yeah, he had him. He had him top 5. He had him 5, and I think he's a very good tackler. So I think, again, I don't want to keep harping on the return game, but this year the return game is going to be weird. It's going to be
yeah,
very weird. It's going to be a completely different game. I don't know if I love the new rule, but it's a rule that's implemented in the game, and it's going to allow teams to. I'm scared of Andy Reid in this return game, big time. I think there's going to be passes behind, like kind of lateral passes in the return game. And Andy Reid
yeah,
with Xavier Worthy, that's a little scary to me. I need a guy that tackles, and I think this guy is a very good tackler. And he He's not scared of physicality. I think you can, on that frame, you can add 5 to 7 pounds of muscle with an NFL weight room. I think you can. And I think if he can play at about 193 to 195, I think there's something there. Now in coverage, I think everything you're saying is correct. Malik Neighbors put him in hell, but he put a lot of people in hell. But it looked really bad with him. I think if he plays off coverage, I think he can tackle whatever's in front of him, and I think that's kind of what the AFC is right now. Is a lot of when things happen on time, they happen in front of corners. I feel like, and he's able to make a lot of tackles. And I like him. The traits are really intriguing, and to me, the 4th round is when you start getting like. You hear about this a lot. Those are the scouts picks. Like when you get to J3, it's kind of the scouts. At that point, it's the scouts fall in love with their guys. So clearly the Raiders scouting department fell in love with DeCamerion Richardson. And he's fast, tall, good arm length, vertical, and he can tackle. So I just, to me, you find a way to make that work. And I do trust Patrick Graham. So I think Glaze is a bigger reach than him personally.
Yeah, you think so? See, I don't know because I feel like Glaze can I don't think I don't think he's pretty good in the run game. I still think for a tackle, that's probably one of the better tackles you can
Top
get in the 3rd
100 though.
round.
It's just top 100. That's the thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
77 overall. Like you expect that guy. That's a starting tackle and eventually a starting tackle in the league, and maybe he is. This guy, I don't think when you draft a corner in the 4th round that you're like, this guy needs to start for me. I don't know that that's what you're saying,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got a point there. Yeah, I just thought this film was a little underwhelming, just because also he has no picks in his career, like never. Like he never got a
the
pick,
ball
bro.
production's
Like,
bad. Yeah, exactly. And like with that speed, it's like if you caught it, like you might score. Like if you made that play, like I don't think anybody's tackling you, dude. Like, no, I agree. And it's like, look, I'm not saying we're in the 4th round right now. That's the thing. We're in the 4th round. It's like I can't name a lot of Raiders 4th round picks from a long time ago. It's just one of those things. To me, I draft a fast guy that can tackle. I figure something out. Do you think he has any safety capability?
Who? Richardson?
Richardson.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Maybe with the tackling ability, but like no, not really. It's more to me. It's just his tape is just not like he doesn't do anything like stands out. Besides tackling, like he reminds me like Nate Hobbs. You know what I mean?
I love a tackler though. I love a tackler. I just love it because a missed tackle will make me want to throw my phone against the sliding glass door, dude. I hate it. Tackle. Speaking of no missed tackles, woo, my boy, I saw you.
Yeah, Tommy Eckenberg. The 5th round pick, the linebacker. Now Eckenberg didn't have a great year this year. He had a great year in 2022. He had 68 defensive stops. Didn't miss a lot of tackles. Played pretty damn well. This year was a little different. Had a little bit of a down year. But he's still a great run defender. I mean, that's what he is. Run defense, he is a stud, right? He's a good run defender, type of linebacker that AP likes, who's physical, who will get in there in the point of attack a little bit, take on some guards, those type of things. I think there's a lot of things to like about Tommy Eckenberg. His upside is kind of the thing, like how good of a linebacker can he really be? A lot of people like to compare him to Robert Spillane. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of maybe his upside there, but
yeah,
I think he's more of like a run stopping linebacker at this point, and he's got to kind of prove that he can play or be athletic enough to kind of play consistently down to down. But as a run stuffer, as a run linebacker, run defender, he is a stud. I mean, he is. You talk about him missed tackles. I mean, his missed tackle percentage is actually pretty high, bro. I was looking at it.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty high, man. So, but it wasn't in 2022, but this past year, it was pretty high. I think it was like 14%. So, that's interesting. But Matt likes him a lot, and I trust Matt with linebackers. So, I like this pick.
I see something, man. I don't know what it is. Like look, he makes big plays. Like I swear, when you get tackles for a loss, it changes drives, and I think he's a drive changer is what I think he is. I don't want him to start this year because I want the Raiders linebackers as is to be the starting linebackers. What I want is him to make plays in that special teams. Like I said, I think special teams is going to be crazy this year. It's going to be just a evolutionary year for the NFL. So I want him to be able to make tackles in there. And in the 5th round, look, you're going to have Spillane. Do you want to extend Spillane? We'll see. The team clearly loves him. They might, but he's got the motor. He does not quit. And he just seems to, in the run game, it's tough to run east and west on Tommy Eichenberg, not because of his athleticism, but because of he just knows what you're doing. And he makes good tackles, and like he's around the ball a lot. Like there's just like if the ball's loose, he just seems to be there. And I know that's something that isn't quantified analytically a lot of times, but guys are either around the ball or not. And I think as Raider fans, we see that a lot. There's certain guys that intercept the ball and certain guys that don't. And when you tip that ball in the air, it looks like he makes the play. And I just think he's a playmaker. And to me, he looks like he wants to be great. I think the Spillane comparison's lazy because he's just a white guy that looks insane, like Mad Max type, like Fury Road, like insane. Not to you. I just mean like in general. I think fans were like Robert Spillane again. I'm like, no, it's lazy. I think he's just something else. I think he's just a different guy. Because to me, I remember Robert Spillane. I actually liked him a little more in coverage than I did being a hammer in the run game. I think this dude's a line of scrimmage player. And I think so much of this division, everybody's like, oh, you got to stop the deep passing game in the AFC. No, half these guys make their plays off yak. And with the Raiders, what kills me more than anything, I think Patrick Graham's pretty good about not getting beat over the top. But it's so much of just like that he cannot coach is just, can you tackle what's in front of you? And that's what this draft, especially on day 3, was like, I'm going to gamble on as many guys as I can that can make plays when the ball's in front of them. Yeah. And I think Eichenberg's one of those guys. And I even think Richardson's one of those guys, but Eichenberg more so.
They're getting on you about not knowing that Max Crosby was a 4th-round pick.
I didn't say any. I just saying a lot of them. What are you going to go? You're going to Keith McGill? Is that what you guys are going to do? Keith McGill? You guys want to go Keith McGill?
I like that. I love that pick. Keith McGill, man.
No, I liked it too. He's a big guy. I'm just saying, you roll the dice. You roll the dice. It doesn't always land the way you want. Have you guys ever gambled before? It just happens. Yeah, Max Crosby. All right. Yeah, 4th-round picks. They're all Max Crosby. No, of course.
Aiden O'Connell too, man. I'm just saying, bro. All right. Anyways, all right. Let's get to 5th round, 6th round. Dylan Lobby. I don't have MJ Devonshire. I forgot about him. I don't know why I messed it up, but we'll talk about him a little bit. But Dylan Lobby, 5'10", 206. A little smaller 40 time. Looks faster on the field, but a good vert. Pretty good broad. 155 career receptions, though, man. That's what this dude, people act like you can't find any film on him, right? I found some. I got lucky.
No, it's out
there. I found
there.
some.
Yeah.
It's out there. I put it on Twitter a little bit. And it's against Western Michigan. And he's not a bad runner, in my opinion. I think he has pretty good vision. He makes guys miss. And he's a pretty big dude, and he's not easy to take down. So I don't think he's a bad runner, in my opinion. I think I was just watching New Hampshire play against Western Michigan, and his offensive line was getting their ass kicked. I mean, it was just dudes bursting through the line like right away. You know what I mean? But when he had a hole and he was able to kind of make some things happen every once in a while. He's a pretty good player. But what this dude can do, though, man, is he can catch the fucking football, Glen. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
this guy can catch the damn football. He had this effortless one-handed catch in the game I watched. Then I posted on Twitter. He's winning on go routes against corners. This dude is a stud catching the damn football. He blocks pretty damn well. So he's like a 3rd down back. I mean, if this guy was a Patriots guy, Tom Brady would have rushed and made sure that this guy was on his team. This is a Tom Brady guy. This is exactly what he is. This is like a Rex Burkhead type of thing, like Tom Brady probably wants to come out. Tom Brady might watch him catch some passes in minicamp, and he might come back.
I'm telling you, this draft was a Brady draft. It was weird. It was like Tom, you see that? Do you see this pick, Tom? Do you see this pick? We drafted Brock Bowers. Tom, did you see Jackson Powers Johnson? No interior pressure. Tom, did you see Dylan Lowby? Did you see it? Like it was weird. They might be trying like a soft offer to Tom Brady. Like, hey, if you don't, it's fine, Tom. Go golf and you'll have partial ownership. No, I agree with you. I agree with you a lot. I think there's a lot of upside with this pick. I'm in the pre-draft process, there were a lot of people that like were fans of this guy because they saw the grit, dude. He's a grit guy. And is that number correct on the vert?
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, 37.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's explosive, bro. He's explosive
jumping.
dude.
He's jumping. Yeah.
Duh. He catches everything.
No,
like, to be honest,
he's a stud, dude. I think this guy might be a stud.
See, the thing is with Luke Getsy, like, I think Luke Getsy has a little bit of pressure on him for me, like just for me personally, because like there's so many things you could do. Like I could do a whole bunch of stuff with Lobby, because he's literally a matchup problem for like a linebacker. There's no linebackers who can guard him.
And
he kills everybody.
Who's his competition as a receiving back on this team? It's Amir Abdullah, which I'm sorry. Look, if he has fans, if there are Amir Abdullah stands, I'm sorry, but like, I think the idea is like, if this guy can beat him, it's not that hard, and it's going to be about pass protection for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he good in pass protection? I haven't seen that. Maybe you have, but is he good in pass
pretty
protection?
Good.
Yeah,
he's pretty good pass protector.
Right, and what he was asked for, like, look, Tom Telesco actually later got Austin Eckler. Later in the draft, wasn't he undrafted? Austin
he's
Eckler.
undrafted.
So it's like this is a higher pick, and I'm not saying he's going to be Austin Eckler, but I think that's what Telesco saw when he watched the film, or his scouts saw that because this is a scout draft. And when they drafted him, I was like, I've heard his name a few times. Let me go look. And I watched him. Like, there's a lot to like, and I think he's the kick returner for this team.
Yeah, he's
straight
shifty,
up,
bro.
He is the kick returner for this team, and perhaps punt returner. This dude was a monster in the return game, and that's why. But like as I say, Madison not a pass catcher. Zamir White, we haven't seen it yet consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Third and long, Dylan Lowby might have the job right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy's a point. You probably don't want to give him too many carries.
No,
I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of upside as a running back. And I just think his line was terrible. So, but yeah, he's a good player in my opinion. I think he's definitely watching his film. There's just from as a receiving third down back, he probably can play like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be that guy that just always finds a way on the team because he can block, he can catch out of the backfield.
In the 5th round, you drafted a guy that you think might be in the league for 10 years. Crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, what he does is a specialty. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of NFL teams covet right now is a good third down back. So, and that's what he's like the ultimate like third down back, bro.
Dude,
like,
did you hear his interview?
Like, yeah, he's a crazy dude.
He got pumped, dude. I thought the guy was gonna need medical attention. He was so pumped when he got drafted, and I'm just like, to me, look, I know you can't put too much on the interview. There's guys that never made the Raiders squad that were excited to be Raiders, but he was pumped. Like he was like, I will do anything to make this team and play for the Raiders. And I got excited. But the film, and then you watch, you're like, actually, it's better than I thought. Like I was like, wow, this is really good. The stuff you were posting, he was winning down the field. I was like, that's crazy,
bro. Like it's not even half the clips I posted. Like literally, like you could literally do swing routes to him, and he'll probably get 10 yards.
And that might happen year one. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's
screens again. Screens. Like
they ran screens with him too. They ran screens with him.
This is New Hampshire. This is New Hampshire. We're talking about. This is an NFL team he's going to go to now with NFL players. So it's interesting.
All right, let's get to these last couple of picks here before we get out of here. Trey Taylor. This dude is a stud, bro. Like I don't understand. This is some Air Force hate. This is some military hate. This is you know what I mean? This is definitely the NFL. You figure the NFL would love the military. You know what I mean? If NFL, it's the guy. They sure fly the flag.
They want Trey. They're like, Trey, can you fly the plane over the stadium before the game? We don't want you to. We don't want you to play. But like, there's Blue Angels. Can you fly over?
That is so real. The truth. You can fly over, Trey, but even though you're the Jim Thorpe Award winner, have 5 career touchdowns, are athletic, you're gonna go in the 7th round.
Hilarious.
This is the craziest pick. I literally, I'm not gonna lie to you, Glenn. I literally, when I turned the film on, I was like, how the hell did they get this guy? This is crazy. This is honestly, I like JPJ. It's probably my favorite pick, but this is really my favorite pick after I watched the film. Okay. After I watched the film, this is probably my favorite pick because this dude's a stud, man. And he's Ed Reed's cousin. And it's just the plays that he makes. Like, I posted a clip where he was supposed to be running zone on the other side, right? He's like, they play, it's called cover 3 buzz. It's the play that I think Jack Jones got intercepted on against the Chiefs. And the safety, one of the safeties comes down in the box, okay, in cover 3. And he was coming on the box, but the concept was a short pass. So he was just like, oh, they're not going to throw the ball there. And he looked to his right, and it was the infamous dagger concept. You're a fan of TDL. The infamous dagger concept is the other side. He was like, oh, the quarterback's going to throw there. And he went and picked it. I was like, you know what? That's a stud. That's a dude that's going to be really good in the NFL. Because that tells me he's going to watch a lot of damn film. He's going to know what guys are going to do. Yeah. And he has 5 career defensive touchdowns, guys. Like, I have no idea how they got this guy.
I mean, and to be honest, full disclosure, I've only seen just a few things from him, but he looks like a ball player. You know what I mean? Like
dog.
And I think it's his athleticism, right? Like we see the 40, it's not great. He can jump. I mean, he can jump. 6 foot. You know, there's certain traits that aren't there. But look, at the end of the day, you're in the 7th round. You are in the 7th round, and you found the Thorpe Award winner. That would be an auto-generated Chat GPT pick for me. It would be like a guy that won an award in college. He's available in the 7th round. Bring him in.
Yeah, man. His RAS actually was in the 9s, like a 9.3 or some shit like that, dude.
So what is he? Is he short area quickness? Is that what it would be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think he's just not fast. He's just not. He doesn't have a long speed. He's Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
But you know, he plays in the box. He is he's a playmaker, bro. Like there's a the play I described, he dropped that interception. But a couple of drives before that, he got an interception because basically like he was guarding tight ends and running backs for Air Force. So if they were like teams were spread out, they put a tight end on him. He would go out and guard the tight end, and he does a pretty damn good job there because he's pretty long. He can like he's pretty strong dude too, so he can get some press, especially on running backs. And he had this running back, and the quarterback underthrew the ball, but he got his head around because you know a lot of especially safeties, they're just going to keep running with the running back. This dude got his head around, saw the ball was coming, stopped. The running back kept running. He stopped, picked it off. I was like, oh, this dude's a stud.
Yeah. And people will say, like, oh, Raiders are deep at safety. They haven't paid Merrick yet, which I wouldn't hate it if they did. Epps is on his last deal. Polamalu is, I like, but we'll see. There's a path. There's a path.
I like this dude a lot. I do, man. I'm not going to lie. I like him a lot. Last guy was MJ Devonshire. I didn't get his stuff up here. Sorry, guys. But Devonshire.
Ball production.
Yeah, he has lots of ball production. Great in press. He's very good in press coverage. He had a damn good game against Tez Walker. Kind of shut Tez Walker out. It's kind of Tez Walker really do anything that whole damn game.
Wow.
Definitely. He has some great press coverage skills. Off coverage is a little different. He's a little stiff there, but I mean, typical. He is like the model Tuscarora. He's 5'10". He's 188. Ran a 4.45. It's like never change, bro. Never change. But I do like that. I think Devonshire does have some upside if he can get a little better at zone coverage. But I think that he has a lot of upside in press coverage. In press coverage, he's damn good. I think he has damn good ball skills. Like I said, there's a lot of plays where he made a lot of plays on Tez Walker. He was just kind of, beating him down a little bit. So definitely a lot of upside there with him. But yeah, he's a pretty good player, man.
I liked what I saw from him. But look, 7th round, they're all dart throws. Day 3 is all dart throws. It's betting on traits, betting on certain qualities of their game and stuff. Finding it's the scouts day. So if this draft class goes as well on day 3 as we think it did, then the scouts did a hell of a job. And with Devonshire, I agree. Like with DeCamerion, he kind of feels like the inverse of DeCamerion Richardson, right? Like where Cameron Richardson is whatever's in front of me, I'm gonna wipe out, and then with Devonshire is like you're not getting anything on me, and it's not a bad dart throw. Maybe one of those guys works out. We tend as Raider fans, we tend to be romantics with these draft class. We tend to be like, this pick's gonna work out, and this is how this pick works out. It's like no, there might be a chance where one doesn't work out, but the other one does, and you got to just take as many throws at the dartboard as you can. So. I love the approach of it, and Devonshire and Trey Taylor in the 7th round. Good chance that one of those guys becomes a contributor, and that's all you can ask for on a day 3 pick, especially in the 7th round.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's see if we get some questions here. So, thoughts on all of the kind 5th year options? Damn, was it that many?
Yeah, Alex Leatherwood is not getting a 5th year apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, yeah. Alex Leatherwood's not getting his 5th year option renewed. No, I saw Justin Fields didn't get it. Pittsburgh's like, hey, we're gonna use him on kick returns.
Najee Harris didn't get it either.
Yeah, I mean, the 5th year option is not as cheap as people think it is. By the way,
no. Let's see. We get those other questions. Devontae mentioned how Getsy will be running it, the old Green Bay offense he was in. I think it's more Minshew, in my opinion, a little bit, but I wouldn't say Minshew matches a short game. I say AOC matches a short game. I still think they're going to try to do a little bit of the vertical first and then adjust if they can't do that. I still believe that. That's kind of my thought process on that.
No, I agree. Agreed.
Yeah. Do we have confidence in a new O-line coach? I don't know, man. We'll find out. I mean, they won that. They won the Joe Moore Trophy in LSU when he was the coach. I mean,
LSU's got a top tackle this year in the draft that's going to be coming out early in the draft. So it's like they've been developing tackles over there. LSU is a school that on offense I am interested in, and I want to extract things and bring them to the NFL. I think he has some Niners experience as well, and I like what they do up front too. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did Peyton make Breeze or was Breeze him?
Breeze is him. He was him with the Chargers, and the Chargers were stupid for trading him, and everybody laughed at it at the time. If you're a young Raider fan, you don't understand that, but we laughed at them for that.
I mean, they had Phillip Rivers, to be fair.
But Breeze was like, oh, thank God. I remember when they got rid of him, I was like, ooh, because Breeze was good, dude. And at Purdue, he played crazy at Purdue. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Purdue used to be on the schedule. Breeze played active. He was crazy. Like, he would run around at Purdue. It was nuts. Yeah, crazy.
What do you think about Telesco drafting more younger players? I think that's something that he just does, man. I think that he wants upside. A lot of upside.
Trust in your coaching staff.
Yeah, how much of an impact do you think Marvin Lewis has in the building? On defense, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I think he helps come up with a defensive game plan.
Oh, I agree.
I think when he came in the building last year, they played better defense. So we can talk about that first of all. I mean, he came in the building. The Raiders had a top 5 defense.
Switch. A light switch was flicked.
Totally different team. Would the Raiders offense been better with the Fuaga or Bowers?
Bowers. Sorry, it's just there's the guy that puts the ball in the end zone. I understand you build the team from up front, but man, I just don't. I think exactly with Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple question to me. I don't know. Britton Brown or Sincere McCormick? I think Britton Brown has more of a chance than Sincere McCormick. I don't know about Sincere McCormick, man.
We'll see. Those guys are more than willing to prove it. I will be watching the degenerate preseason games in the 3rd, 4th quarter where Britton Brown and them are getting carries. If they pop off the screen, I'll do it. But Dalton Wagner, all these guys are in this realm of like Raider guys that could be some. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see both QBs starting at some point? I hope not. That's all I'll say about that.
No, pick
That's not
one
a
guy.
good thing.
Pick one guy. I don't want a carousel. Yeah.
Exactly. Is there a free agent quarterback that we should pick up?
Yes, 3 of them. Steven Nelson, Xavier Howard, Adoree Jackson. Those are 3 of those guys. Any of those 3, go get one of them. This defense is looking real good at that point.
Yeah, I'm a big Steven Nelson guy though. He's
I
just
like Steven
steady.
Nelson.
You know, he's
Yeah.
solid. You know what I mean?
And that's what they need. It's a coverage unit with Patrick Graham. It feels like a coverage unit. I feel like a shutdown corner with Graham is good, but like it's a coverage unit. And I feel like Steven Nelson is totally fine just being a part of an ecosystem at corner. And secondary.
Yeah. Will there be a surprise training camp cuts?
I like Madison.
Madison's a good one. That's a good one. I agree with that.
Gallup.
Madison getting cut.
Gallup.
Michael Gallup.
I would say I'm trying to think.
Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, I don't. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think Lauby might go crazy in the preseason. I think he might. I think Lauby might be like the preseason guy that like is like on like the NFL account on Twitter is like Dylan Lauby. Like this is crazy in the third quarter against so and so. You know, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna bring up. I saw him earlier. Brandon Faison.
I can see that too. Well, I think he might be the cut if they even sign a veteran. To be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Harrison Bryant, I saw in the chat. That's an interesting cut too.
Yeah, he could get cut real quick.
Yeah, I forgot about Harrison Bryant. Yeah.
How much are we gonna miss Josh Jacobs? I mean, probably a little bit, but just not like a huge impact where we're like, oh, we miss Josh Jacobs. I think it's gonna be like small things. Yeah, little small things.
O-line got better. Jacobs is a little bit better than anybody else in space on this team. Jacobs is better in space, but the O-line I think should be able to create more yards per carry.
I'll probably do some Carter Bradley. I have to check out this other guy. Honestly, I did not know any of those guys, but I probably made some Carter Bradley there. Candidates for director scouting personnel. I'm not sure about that. That's a good one. These are things that I just don't like deep dive into like team personnel.
I like the draft this year. That's all I can say. I like the draft, so that's the answer.
Yeah, for sure, man. Any chance Renfro comes back? I mean, I don't know, maybe.
No. His job got taken by Brock Bowers.
Where is Renfro on a team? Nobody's picked him up, bro.
No, he's not. Wow. He fumbled. Somebody put in the comments, and this is correct. The Arizona game killed Hunter Renfro. I'm just gonna say it right now. When he fumbled and got a concussion on the same play, I don't think it just never looked the same. And that was the one we hated on Josh McDowell. What's up with Hunter Renfro? I think he might have been correct on that one. I'm just gonna say.
Maybe. Oh no, he signed with Buffalo. Did he really?
Who?
Hunter Renfro. He signed with Buffalo.
Good for them. They need receivers. Yeah.
All right. More sacks. Kuntz or Wilson? I think it's the last question we got here. Actually,
Kuntz. I think Wilson will be just a bit. Yeah, it's Kuntz. I think Kuntz.
I'm going 12 sacks for Kuntz this year.
Yeah, it should be double digits. He should have a double digit. If he wants to make some money, he should have a double digit year. This is a contract year for Kuntz.
Yeah, so Renfro's at Buffalo. Chances the Raiders win the division. I mean, with the Chiefs. I mean,
no. Wow, I like them to make the playoffs. They have a decent thing. We didn't even talk about the.
I like them to make the playoffs too. Yeah. We didn't talk about the runner. I mean,
6.5, whatever. Real fast, 6.5 is some hater shit, dude. It should be 7.5, at least.
Yeah, because in my opinion, I think the least they're gonna lose is win is gonna 8 games. I think this is at least this is an 8-9.
It's a better roster than they want to than people do. I mean, it's like they won 8 games last year with the worst head coach in the league with the first half of the season. Like voted on by the players, the worst head coach in the league. AP comes in, and we are betting on AP changing the identity. I like the draft. I like some of the offseason acquisitions. I don't know that they have the highest upside right now for 2024, but I do think that their floor is pretty high.
Yeah. Would you have drafted Leary, Rattler, or Milton? Probably not, man. I don't think so.
I'm hearing about Milton might be a tight end. That's what I've been hearing about.
Wait, K-Dot already responded. This is crazy. So this is saying I gotta get out.
Marcus has some tape to break down.
I got a hip hop, man. This, Kendrick's, I'm into numerology. You probably don't know, people don't know about this, but Glen does. And he
I
dropped
do.
616, and I was tripping. I was like, oh, you're a crazy
Yeah.
motherfucker, dog.
He raps for you.
He does. He literally does.
Yeah. I know it. I know the numerology. Yeah, I do.
I know. All right, bro. All right, guys, we're out of here. I hope it's called Meet the Grams. This is too much. I got too much to do. Out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sorry for the first stream kind of getting messed up. We switched over, but we're good, guys. Got about 450 in here today. So appreciate everybody coming in here. We'll be back. I mean, it's gonna be a little slower off season, but it is what it is. We'll be back, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. Peace.
All right. Peace, guys.